The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us on this Wednesday. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. And this morning, we're learning more about that powerful 6.4 magnitude earthquake now blamed for at least 2 deaths. The quake hit just after 2:30 yesterday, causing widespread damage in Humboldt County near the quake's epicenter. Officials are still assessing the totality of damage, but there are buckled and cracked roads, along with items tossed to the floor in homes and businesses. Officials say a 72-year-old man and an 83-year-old woman each suffered medical emergencies and were not able to get help on time. The quake comes exactly 1 year to the day that a 6.2 tremor hit the same region. Sarah Stinson with our sister station in San Francisco has more.
Shattered glass, broken windows, and toppled shelves. This is just a glimpse of the damage from this morning's 6.4 earthquake in Humboldt County. For Californians, it's a reminder of what can happen in this state and that older homes are at risk.
The pre-1980 house could be considered to have been constructed before we really knew a lot about how houses performed in earthquakes.
Janelle Maffei is with the California Earthquake Authority, providing insurance to homeowners during earthquakes. Maffei says there are a few key things homeowners could look out for to see if their home is strong enough to withstand this type of event.
A crawl space that isn't properly anchored to the foundation and doesn't have plywood around it. It's not properly braced.
If that's the case for your home, Maffei says the California Earthquake Authority can provide grants to help get it fixed.
We'd like to make sure that houses have a much higher likelihood of being habitable after an earthquake.
Funding for these grants come from FEMA, and for 2022, the California Earthquake Authority got $80 million. Some of that will even take them into 2023 as they wait for the next round of funding. For now, Ron Takiguchi, former president of the California Building Officials, says this should be a reminder for people to always be prepared.
Simple measures in earthquake preparedness, similar to the requirement to strap tank water heaters to the wall so they do not topple.
Takiguchi's goal is to make sure homes are livable following an emergency. And as homeowners in Humboldt County begin to rebuild, Takiguchi says this should be a lesson for the entire state.
For those in the rest of the state, it is a reminder that earthquakes are real.
It has been 2 years since a pair of brothers were reported missing in California City in what has now become a murder mystery. The Wests were reported missing in December 2020, and their bodies have never been found. Earlier this year, the boys' adoptive parents, Trezell and Jacqueline West, were arrested and charged for their murders. The trial is set to begin next month. But tonight, a vigil will be held for 4-year-old Orrin and 3-year-old Orson West. It is happening outside the courthouse on Truxtun Avenue at 5 p.m.
5:05 is your time now, and this morning 8 Bakersfield Police Department officers are on administrative leave following an officer-involved shooting yesterday that left a man dead in southeast Bakersfield.
Take his hands out of his waistband.
It all started near Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School yesterday morning. Police say that's where a man was waving around a pistol. When officers approached the man, police say shots were fired.
Officers responded, made contact with the individual. Subsequently, an officer-involved shooting took place. After that gunfire, the individual ran from officers towards additional officers.
8 officers shot. The man died at the scene. Police say he had a gun and knife on him.
New details this morning in the investigation involving a body found off Highway 99 over the weekend. CHP says officers responded to the 99 near Hosking Avenue just before 5 a.m. on Saturday. That is where they found the body of a woman that was set on fire. Investigators say the woman had light complexion with dark brown hair, a nose ring, and was about 20 to 40 years old, but she has not been identified.
Twitter owner and CEO Elon Musk is reportedly searching for a new CEO for the company. That's according to sources who tell CNBC the search has been ongoing and started before Musk posted the informal poll Sunday, asking Twitter users if he should step down. More than half of the 17 million respondents voted for Musk to leave his post. He said he would abide by the results of the poll. Musk, who acquired the company for $44 billion in October, has previously said his position as CEO would be temporary. However, on Sunday, he wrote in a separate tweet that there is no successor. Musk did not immediately respond to requests for comment.
Well, if you were thinking about making a donation this holiday season, Attorney General Rob Bonta has a warning for you. Be alert for possible scammers. Capitol correspondent Eitan Wallace shares some tips on how to protect yourself, plus what you can do if scammers are targeting you.
Attorney General Rob Bonta in a festive mood today, enjoying some laughs at the Sacramento Food Bank and Family Services. He volunteered at the facility to pack produce for young school children and seniors in need across Sacramento County, a county where nearly 300,000 people are estimated to suffer from hunger every day. Whether you're packing produce for those in need or giving your own money, the Attorney General says that's all great, all part of the giving spirit this holiday season. But he says before you take any action, do your homework.
I want to make sure that the money that you want to give goes to its intended source, helps the people that you intended to help, and that you are not taken advantage of.
That, he says, is especially important now as Californians open up their wallets and give their time during the holidays.
This time of year, we always see an uptick in scams, unfortunately, people taking advantage of the giving, generous spirit of Californians.
But he notes there are ways to protect yourself, starting with your identity.
When donating, never give your Social Security number. Never give out your credit card information to an unfamiliar organization. A scammer might say they need your Social Security number to make your donation tax deductible. That's a lie.
He also urges Californians to be wary of social network fundraising, especially when strangers ask for donations on websites like GoFundMe. And he reminds potential donors, if you're not sure about a specific charitable organization, you can always look up its legal registration status on the Department of Justice website. If at any time Californians feel like scammers are targeting them, Bonta says it's important to report that to his office.
We want to nip that in the bud, address the issue, stop the fraud and the scam as soon as possible.
Doing so, he says, ensures legit charities like the Sacramento Food Bank and Family Services do not have to compete with scammers. And as its president and CEO, Blake Young, maintains, that means more help will go to the people who really need it.
If you donate $1 to Sacramento Food Bank and Family Services, we can provide 5 meals. So that's an incredible return on community investment. So extremely important. People are challenged during the holiday, so it's wonderful the community can come together and feed folks.
Giving a helping hand this holiday season, all while keeping your wallet safe. In Sacramento, Eitan Wallace, 17 News.
New this morning, CHP officers are investigating a violent crash just north of Bakersfield. It happened on James Road and Highway 65 around 5:30 last night. We're still waiting to get more information about what exactly happened, but you can see at least 2 vehicles were involved and mangled there, both severely damaged. No word on injuries. We've reached out to CHP for more information. We'll let you know when we learn more. And making news around the nation, the Biden administration is asking the Supreme Court to lift a pandemic border restriction. Though border officials are warning that will lead to a sharp rise in illegal border crossings. NBC's Julia Ainsley reports.
Chaotic scenes in El Paso, including these migrants climbing over a border fence, others going under barbed wire put up by Texas National Guard. All part of an ongoing surge of illegal border crossings here, and coming just as the Biden administration is asking the Supreme Court to lift a pandemic border restriction known as Title 42. A move border officials say would send the number of illegal border crossings soaring even higher to a record 10,000 per day. The Supreme Court has temporarily blocked lifting Title 42 at the request of 19 Republican states. But the Biden administration asking the court to reverse that in a filing saying Title 42 is no longer necessary to protect public health. Meanwhile, in El Paso, officials say they're facing a humanitarian crisis.
It's about 33 degrees here in downtown El Paso, where migrants are sleeping and huddling together for warmth. You can see the city has come through here to clean out trash. Others have donated clothes. And right now, officials say they're overwhelmed.
We spoke to Natalie, who traveled from Venezuela with her daughter Rosa, the girl without shoes in frigid temperatures after losing them on the journey. They fell off, Natalie says. Her cheeks are burned from the trip and the cold. Natalie told us she was surprised that they were able to just walk across the border into El Paso without being stopped by Border Patrol. I walked through, she told us. And then we met Gabriela.
How are you keeping warm?
Demasiado frío.
Our hands are freezing, and our ribs, the headaches, the body, feet, it's unbearable, she says. El Paso is in its 4th day of a state of emergency. Officials saying city resources are maxed out, and they're pleading for federal help.
There's not enough money. There's no community that could take an influx like that.
We have seen a significant increase in...
Ruben Garcia runs a network of 15 migrant shelters in El Paso and said he has had to turn migrants away because they don't have room.
What do you think things will look like here in El Paso when Title 42 is eventually lifted?
I think it's something that we probably can't even describe. The numbers will be very, very high.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.